Hi guys, welcome back again to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful trending gown. You can make yours short. So this is plain chiffon and flower chiffon. You can make use of crepe. The plain one is for the up. So we'll start by marking the pattern for the up. Here is the shoulder length. I'm making use of 8 inches shoulder length. Then from there I go down by 8 inches for the chest and armhole for armhole curve also. So from there I mark 16 inches for the waist. Then from 16 inches I get my hip length, which is 24. So I'll go ahead and make the lines, the dots visible. This is the chest line, the waist line, and this is the hip line that will serve as the full length for the up part. So I'll go ahead and mark the shoulder to the chest line for the curve, armhole curve. So the next thing is to mark the neck. The neck width is 3.5, while the neck depth is also 3.5. I noticed that 3 inches used to be a kind of tight. On the shoulder line, I go down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. Connect it to the neck width this way. You can get the midpoint of the remaining hole to make your armhole curve. You can choose to make your armhole curve without the point. If you get the half of the armhole point, you go in by half of an inch, then you make the curve. So the next thing I'll be inserting is the bust measurement on the chest plus 1 inch or 1.5 inch for seam allowance. Here I'm making use of 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. On the waist measurement divide by 4 plus 1.5 inches also. On the hip line, divide by 4 plus 1.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and connect the lines with the help of French curve. You can decide to add yours dots. At this point you can add dots, but I will not be adding my dots. So on the neck side, I'll go ahead to mark the back neck. I'll come down by 1 inch for the back depth because I'll be making use of I will use this material to cut the front and back. So for the curve, this is how you get your curve. On the center front, I come up by 3 inches. Then towards that part, I went about 6 inches. So on the side also, I'll come up by 3 inches. You can, on that side, you can make use of 5, you can make use of 6, depending on how wide you want yours to be. But here I made use of 6 inches. So I went ahead to connect the lines this way. So this is it. So the next thing I'll be doing is to cut it out. So after cutting it out, I'll use it to trace out on the fabric. So I'll be cutting the back first. I'm adding half of an inch for joining two routes, apart from the side that I added 1.5 inches for seam allowance. On the down part I added 1.5. On the shoulder I added 1.5 also. So for the zip allowance side, on the up side I added 1.5. I'm marking 1.5. Then on the waist part I'm adding 1 inch. So I'll connect it this way. Then the down part is 1.5 also. This is it, 1.5, 1 inch and 1.5. This is how I add my zip allowance, so that the back will not be caping at the end of the day. So after that, I will proceed in cutting the front. So first I will go ahead and trim out the back neck, so that it will go back to the front pattern. So I'm going to add exactly what I added on the back, which is half of an inch for joining the down parts. So I went ahead to cut normal sleeve, then I added its allowance for the gathers. Just cut your normal sleeve. So I cut a lining for the up parts. You can make use of bias, you can turn the neck with bias depending on your choice. So for the fabric I went ahead to cut, remember the fabric I'm using is 4 yards. You can make use of 3 yards, you can make use of 2 yards depending on how full you want yours to be. So the length will be 36 inches, then while the width will be as much as you want. If you're making use of a lighter material, you can make use of 4. If you're making use of a hard one, you can make use of 3 inches. So I'll go ahead and turn the neck of the fabric. So I've gone ahead to turn it here, both the front and the back neck. So the next thing I'm going to do is to join the shoulders. So I'll go ahead and stitch the shoulders. So after stitching the shoulders, this is how it's looking like. So the next thing I'm going to do is to fold the down part of the sleeve. The down part of the sleeve. Make a casing for elastic. That is double folding. After that, I'll go ahead and join the sleeve to the bodice. So after I finished joining the sleeve, I went ahead to add the elastic. Then the next thing is to close up the sleeve part and the body part with the allowance that we added initially. So this is it after I finish joining the the sides. So the next thing I'm going to do is to get the back pattern, get the back this way. I will be sewing from the side. I'll be sewing 1.5 that I added for seam allowance. Then I'll go ahead and sew it this way. You can make use of 2 inches, 3 inches, depending on how long you want your zip to be. So after stitching there, I sew about 3 inches. I sew 3 inches to close up that part. Then I'll go ahead and add the zip to the bodies. So after adding the zip, this is what we have. So the next thing is to join the down parts. So for the down parts, I went ahead to gather it. So this is it. I gathered it. I'll be joining it according to that curve, according to the curves. I'm going to start from the back part. So I'll be leaving 1 inch that I'll use to join it. So I'll go ahead and stitch round. Then after that, I'll join it, and that is it. Stitch it round and join. So this is the finished look of the gown. Hope it's looking nice.